What's up, Pats Nation? Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Allie Barefoot, and we're going to talk about the winners and losers from my perspective of watching Week 2 versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately, dropped the ball on this one, literally with a fumbled snap, but they lost 14-13 to the Eagles. But we saw a lot of good. Saw some bad, so let's go on ahead and break it down on today's show. But first things first, if you guys want more watch parties on Patriots Today by Chat Sports, super simple. Go on ahead, hit that like button for me. My goal is to reach 200 likes on today's video. We had over 21,000 people watch in Week 2. Let's see if we can go the biggest for Week 3 versus the Commanders. Going to start off this show real quick with an injury update. If you guys were watching the game yesterday, you saw Ja'Quay Jackson get carted off the field after colliding with a cornerback. Well, the latest update on Jackson is that he will have an MRI after last night's injury. X-rays came back negative. He was holding his left knee when he was on the ground, but in terms of what the injury was, still hasn't been disclosed. So hopefully he'll be okay. We'll find out more about Ja'Quay Jackson because he did have a touchdown in Week 1 versus the Panthers. So he's still fighting for that final wide receiver spot on the 53-man roster. Let's go ahead and dive into my winners and losers. Preseason Week 2, I got to give credit where credit's due. Drake Maye. He came in the second quarter, did not come out until the start of the fourth, and he proved why the Patriots needed to take a stand on him at pick number 3. Don't be baffled by the 6 for 11. He showcased his arm strength. He showcased he could be a 3-level threat when it comes to his passing, and he also showed that he is fine with being mobile and taking a hit. Not to mention 0 interceptions and 1 touchdown that he graciously extended, flipped the ball in the end zone, and it looked like this was his team. The number one thing that I noticed when Drake Maye came into the ballgame was not just how loud the stadium got because they're excited about the face of the franchise quarterback, but Jacoby Brissett going 3 for 7 and having 17 yards in 1 full quarter. Drake Maye just looked better in the pocket just for Week 2 alone. The Patriots worked more seamlessly when they had Drake Maye in his leadership in the pocket. So I'm really intrigued to see what the reps will look like in Week 3, but nonetheless, Drake Maye is the clear quarterback winner for Week 2. Who wasn't a winner, though, is the offensive line. The offensive line didn't do as bad as I thought they were going to do in terms of how they did in the joint practice versus the Eagles, but Verderian Lowe, the left tackle specifically, is going to get my loser nod for the week. The first thing that really caught my eye here was the holding call. A holding call, obviously pushing them back 5 yards for a left tackle that's trying to win that left tackle starting spot. Last thing you want is to be the guy that they call the number out on. Then the biggest play of the night was when he completely missed his block and allowed a big-time sack on a third down opportunity for the Patriots to be in scoring position and possibly take the lead. Verderian Low, when this guy ran right past him, ran right past him. It was unfortunate, but that was a huge nod for me to see that was Lowe's second mistake of the night, and they both came at a very timely manner. With that being said, Keion White did get in the ballgame, but at right tackle with the third strings and Joe Milton, with Layden Robinson coming in at right guard. I'm wondering if we're going to see a little bit more of Keion White now at left tackle. That Verderian Low has kind of fumbled the bag just a little bit. Lowe has gotten the starting left tackle nod through 8 practices, but I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do in their last week of practice heading into Commanders Week 3 and the preseason game. Before I hop into my other winners and losers from Week 2 versus the Philadelphia Eagles, I need to tell you guys real quick about our sponsor here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Let's talk about Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. It is the best way to test your skills, and also the easiest way to test your skills, because all you have to do is pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. Not to mention, you can do WNBA, MLB, NBA, NFL preseason, NFL regular season stats. All you guys have to do is download the app. When you get there, here are my picks for today's games. We are going to the Texas Rangers game a little bit later, so I wanted to see what Andrew had on the pitcher's mound. I have him having more than 3.5 pitcher strikeouts. I took the Goblin, which is actually an easier pick. If you see the red version of him, that's a demon. That's a harder pick, but it pays a lot more. And not to mention, WNBA is back. Caitlin Clark having more than 10.5 assists. Absolutely. She's averaging 8.2 assists right now throughout the first half of the WNBA season. So these are my prize picks. Go on ahead, test your skills, and pick yours. All you have to do is download the app or go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. Prize Picks, run your game. Coming in here with my second loser of preseason week 2. Unfortunately, it's got to go to Jayvon Baker. I think there's a lot of growth here. I wish it wasn't just a loser. It just wasn't a standout to me. Seemed to be trending downwards with Jayvon Baker. The speed's there. The athleticism is there. But he let numerous plays drop through his hands. Not to mention Maye's biggest play of the night. Launches it 40-plus yards downfield. Jayvon Baker laying out for it, not to mention. The placement was perfect. Jayvon Baker Supermans to catch the ball. He reels it in, and then it slips through his arms, and it's an incomplete pass. That's huge. Jayvon Baker, to be a solid wide receiver in the NFL, especially for the Patriots, has to make that play in a preseason game. But he was a target on numerous occasions, but he only hauled in 1 of 4 of those targets. Couple of them may have been out of bounds, maybe 1. 2 of them dropped from his hands. So obviously in a wide receiver, in a rookie preseason game, there's a lot of jitters. Maybe it was just one of those things of he was thinking about running before he caught the ball, but Jayvon Baker looked like he needed to go back to the simple X's and O's of being a wide receiver, but he kept up with his cornerbacks. He lost them in a lot of scenarios. So in terms of speed, athleticism, and strength, he's definitely right there. Once he hones in on those hands, he's going to be phenomenal. But before we hop into our final 2 picks of week 2, who's the biggest winner from week 2? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know who you guys are thinking about who is the biggest winner from week 2 right now in the comment section. Coming in now with Joey Slye. He's going to be my winner. And I know it's really odd to have a kicker be your winner here in this scenario, but Joey Slye, knowing that we do have a pretty intense kicker battle going on right now, having him nail 2 huge field goals for the Patriots is why I slated him as a winner. It made the kicker battle a bit more spicy, but we do know that Bailey Zappi had the ball. He was the quarterback for the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. He was trying to move upfield, get them in field goal territory, and we did have Chad Ryland, who was warming up his leg to come in and try to make the game-winning field goal. So Jerod Mayo is still definitely testing the waters with both of these kickers, but allowing Joey Slye to make a 51-yard field goal when we know that his career long is over 60 yards, and to make a 45-yard field goal, Joey Slye looked good. He looked comfortable. Everything was on target. So I'm really intrigued to see how long this kicker battle is going to go into, and maybe why Jerod Mayo was allowing Chad Ryland to warm up and make the game-winning field goal, not Joey Slye. So keep an eye on that kicker battle because we may not see Chad Ryland in the 53-man roster for the Patriots moving forward. Last winner and loser from week 2, we have Keon White. No surprise here. He was a player I was actually watching heading into this matchup, but the reason why I give Keion White a winner tag is because this was the first game without Matthew Judon on the field or on the sidelines. And I just want to let you know the Patriots defense is still in good hands. We know the Eagles' first-string offense was not running yesterday, but the fact that Keion White was still dominating. He was still being a leader. On several instances, I saw Keon White throwing up his signs, talking to the guys next to him. He was leading the 3-4 front, turning around, talking to the linebackers, looking to his right, talking to his other 3-4 front is huge. That's the Matthew Judon that the Patriots unfortunately will not have this year. So if Keon White can step up, not just in the box sheet, but also in leadership, that's huge. Keon White did tack on 1 sack in last night's ball game, but he did have multiple quarterback pressures. He was constantly getting off the block. He was at least testing Kenny Pickett. And if he didn't get credited for it, he was always in the dog pile when there was a sack going down. Keon White is a dog, has been a dog, and I'm excited for what we're going to have here in week 3 and what we're going to see moving forward in the regular season. So one more time, go on ahead and let me know who your biggest loser was as well from week 2. Let me know in the comments section down below. And as always, all you got to do for the more watch parties from Patriots Today by Chat Sports, hit that like button for me and subscribe to Patriots Today by Chat Sports.